Yeah, so the YouTubers tamper up my views first, and then TikTok come and do the same shit on thing, which I said was going to happen, and it did, right? Um, so anyhow, I don't care for views. I know that my videos are being monitored. I know my videos are being watched, right? Regardless of how much views you all want to block or how much views actually viewing it, I don't care, right? I do not care. One view is enough. 0 views is actually enough. So you all could keep reducing it. At least I will know how to weed out the dumb from the not dumb, right? For eternity, the same knowledge has been being spoken. This knowledge has been being spoken into the universe for eternity now. And it's the same old bullshit, right? Welcome to objective reality, which is censorship. Welcome to objective reality, which is equal to censorship, right? But that's okay. Welcome to objective reality a second time, which is the natural law of the universe, right? Today the conversation is about your higher self versus your lower self. We're talking about self with a common S versus self with a capital S, right? This is no rocket science. I am not an expert in maths, biology, physics, chemistry, right? But I do know the requirements to free yourself from the conditions of slavery, right? I do have that knowledge, and that's the only knowledge that you really need to free yourself free yourself on planet Earth, from planet Earth, right? That's the only requirement that you need to free yourself from planet Earth whilst you are on planet Earth. Knowing the difference, acting in your higher self versus acting in your lower self, right? So what exactly is your lower self? Your lower self is more identified with ego identification, identifying with the ego. What is identifying with the ego? Identifying with the ego is simply identifying with the things of this world, or your position in this world. Identifying with your position in this world. Whether you be a teacher in the mainstream system, whether you be a religious leader in the system, whether you be a CEO in the system, whether you be a janitor in the system, whatever it is, identifying with a position that you are in, identifying with your ethnicity, with your gender, seeing the separatedness, that's lower self, right? Seeing things and people as unequal or stratified, right? You can watch my YouTube videos on stratification and these things when I did sociology, natural law and sociology, right? Seeing things from an unequal angle. We are all unequal beings. Seeing things from this angle, this is acting out of our lower self. Our higher self would see the unity based on our higher self, unity and all based on natural law, right? Remember I said natural law is a great equalizer, right? So the higher self will actually see, everything as actually in unity consciousness. And that is why one of the other difference between the higher self and the lower self is because of seeing things in this unity consciousness. Because of seeing things in this unity consciousness, the higher self would want to act in the freedom of all and take action for the freedom of all. What does this involve? This involves aligning oneself with spiritual law and secondly teaching it, right? Teaching it, right? So compartmentalization, right? The compartmentalization of your brain. This is lower self. Higher self merges both sides of your brain. For example, academia mainstream medicine, right? Like mainstream medical system. You have a specialist for your heart. You have a specialist for your respiratory system. You have a specialist for cancer. You have a specialist for every disease under the planet, or every organ under the planet, right? But if you take a pill for one of these illnesses, and it's going to have a side effect, guaranteed, that's going to affect another organ, right? So the treatment that you need is not a compartmentalized system that you actually need if you want to really heal from the root, right? It's holistic healing, and this is why natural law, spiritual law is being promoted, propagated as the solution and the only solution, right? For holistic healing, and this is not going to happen overnight, rest assured. That's why this path is called the straight and narrow path, and that's why this path is actually one of the hardest paths, right? Hardest. Yeah. When I say the hardest path, I mean the path that involves sacrifice, obedience and sacrifice, obedience to the laws of the universe and sacrifice, or giving up a part of yourself, right? Giving up a part of your material, egoistic self, right? In the pursuit of that which is true, right? So I don't have to. What exactly is acting in your higher self again, right? It doesn't mean spreading love and light to everybody on the face of this planet. Actually, no, right? I don't really have to like you personally. I personally don't have to like you, right? In fact, there are very little numbers of people who I actually have a liking for in this life, right? There's very few people who I know who I actually like, if any at all, right? So you don't have to like me, I don't have to like you, but the important thing is that true love, agape love, the highest love, is actually not liking or being nice to you, right? It's actually acting in accordance with the will and teaching the will, right? Teaching freedom, right? Because it's a very annoying thing to be here teaching this for however the hell long, right? And people just making a fool out of you, one. Not that I give a shit, right? But having to endure retarded, fucktarded assholes, right? Is not an easy thing, right? So we're talking about higher self versus lower self. Higher self versus lower self. Higher self is that aspect of yourself that is willing to act for the freedom of all, for the freedom of people who are still enslaved by the mainstream systems of this world. The knowledge, right? This is not rocket science. This is not no high-tech engineering, chemistry, maths, physics, right? Biology. This is actually the most basic common sense bullshit that anybody could come and tell you, which is what makes it only more fascinating why people are not taking the relevant action in the first place, because it's such simple knowledge that can free you right here, right now, right? It is the most simple knowledge that can free you right here and right now, right? So, but people prefer to stay in the same, listen to the illogic of people in this world. You prefer to continue working for the government systems and propping up the mainstream systems, entertainment systems, leisurely systems, right? You prefer to go and pay $90 in IMAX, which is a cinema in Trinidad, or Movie Tongue, or any of these fancy cinemas. You prefer to go and pay $50 to $90 or $150 to see a movie called The Matrix, right? You prefer pay $100 to go and see a movie and buy your nice popcorn and Coke and sit down and watch a movie called The Matrix, right? And be like, wait, that movie real deep, boy. That movie deep. Or Avatar, or whatever the hell that you all like to watch, right? You all prefer to go and watch these nice movies, these deep depth movies. When all they're just talking the same bullshit common sense that all the true spiritual teachers have been teaching from time immemorial, right? But anyhow, you all prefer to go to take a day off or go on a weekend from your government jobs and watch The Matrix via the entertainment industry and be like, whoa, that movie deep boy, right? And then go back and work for the same Matrix the next day. You see all this stupid